In your books, if you haven't done it yet, the first page on your right hand side, start with number 3. Number it as number 3. Flip the book over, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way through that. Our marketing guys got rid of the first page inside here, and they were supposed to put in some pages so you could take notes. So unfortunately, page 1 and 2 is gone. So you have to start with page 3. It's very important that you put these numbers in because you're going to need to reference these later on. Okay, so you open this up. This first page is 3. So all your even numbers will be on your left and your odd numbers will be on your right. And these books are already printed out, so I wasn't going to waste them and have them reprint a bunch of other books.
You just wanted to confuse us a little more.
Just a little bit. All right, this afternoon's class basically is going in. We're going to create a web page. We're going to add some content. I'm going to show you how to add a video, how to add an image. After we do that, then we're going to go in and show you how to create what's called a saved search. And inside LeadStreet, they call it agent saved search. Once you create the agent saved search, then we're going to create an SEO search page. And basically what that's doing is taking the content and the search, combining it together to create one page. After we get through with that, then we have to just go into site content and make sure the pages are in the right order and the positions that they need to be. Now, before we jump in and start doing all of this, on your home page over on the left-hand side, under the support files, under support files, number 4, how to create SEO neighborhood page. If you download that link, or that page itself,
How did we get to that page?
on the home page, left-hand side, support files.
And how to create SEO.
How to create SEO. When you download that page, those are the step-by-step instructions of what we're going through today. And it walks you through each one of these steps. Okay? Now, the first step is we're going to create a web page for a neighborhood. Now, why are we creating a page for a neighborhood? Is because in order to get pages ranked in the search engines, the easiest way is to be more geographical specific. So the more geographical specific you are, you're narrowing down specifically what you're looking for. Which means you're not competing against as many websites out there. And a neighborhood is geographically specific. This morning we were talking about your home page being a broad geographical area, like Katy Real Estate. In this case, creating a neighborhood page, let's say Cinco Ranch. All right, Cinco Ranch would be a phrase that we're targeting. So Cinco Ranch, Katy, Texas. And I'm going to show you, this is my demo website. And the reason that we create neighborhood pages is because once you understand how to create a neighborhood page, then you can create a web page for schools, school districts, zip codes, MLS areas, specific search criteria, and you can even break it down even further than that if you wanted to, based upon the criteria provided by the MLS. So this is my demo website, and these are all search pages. So I click on Cinco Ranch, and I showed y'all this morning. We're going to create a web page. It's going to have the neighborhood name. We're going to add some content, add an image, show you how to embed a video, and then at the bottom, those listings on it. And basically what this helps you do is create web pages that search engines are going to come back and crawl more often, instead of you having to go back and constantly add stuff to it or modify the page itself. Search engines will crawl a web page one time, and then they'll come back again to see if it's modified or things have been changed on it. If it hasn't been changed on it, or nothing's been done to that web page, it waits a little bit longer for it to come back. And then when it comes back again, if it sees that there's nothing changed on it, it waits even longer. Okay? So you can get a web page ranked into search engines, but if you don't constantly have changes to that web page over a period of time, it will drop out of the search engines. Okay? So this is why we're putting this in place. The other thing that you want to look at inside here is number 9 under the support files, how to create a Google AdWords account. Google AdWords. AdWords primary purpose is actually used for pay-per-click. However, signing up for AdWords is free. And what AdWords will help you do is decide what phrases are worth targeting for neighborhoods. So I'm going to log into AdWords and I'm going to show you some examples. And again, you can sign in to AdWords and it doesn't cost anything. Because we're, oops.
What do you need the AdWords for?
You'll just give me a second and I'm going to get right there. You got, come on. Why is this thing stupid?
I don't know what page.
I'm sorry?
I don't know what page it's on.
All right. Under AdWords, when you sign up for AdWords, they used to call it the keyword tool, but they changed the name of it and it's called Keyword Planner. So inside AdWords, when you sign up for it, again, it's free. You don't have to put your credit card information in or anything like that. You're going to use this actually for the Keyword Planner. Now when you click on the Keyword Planner, the next page that comes up, the first field that's up on the top, you're going to put in the neighborhood names that you're wanting to target. So in this case, Cinco Ranch. So Cinco Ranch, Katy. And I'm going to go ahead and put in Texas in there. All right, so you can put in multiple phrases in here. All you have to do is hit return and then type in the different phrases. When you put your phrases in, scroll to the bottom and click on search, and not search, but get ideas. It's going to come back and give you ideas. It's going to group them together, but click on keyword ideas. When you click on keyword ideas, what you're going to look at is actually the average monthly searches that are being done for that phrase. So for Cinco Ranch, how many phrases or how many searches are being done on average for Cinco Ranch, Katy, Texas? 140. How many searches on average are being done a month for Memorial Parkway, Katy, Texas? 0. So would I target that neighborhood starting out? No. So this is a good tool to use to make sure that the pages that you're creating starting out, that there's searches being done for those neighborhoods. Because you don't need to waste time on something when there's not any searches being done for them.
How do you know what's a high number? I mean, 140, 1,000?
It tells you right here. I don't look at the high because of the competition. I actually look at the number of searches being done. You know, homes for sale in Katy, Texas, 1,000 searches being done. But you can be competing against a lot of other websites out there that's targeting that as well. So for your neighborhoods, those numbers are not going to be extremely high. Now, if I take out Texas and just leave in the word Katy, Watch how the numbers will change. Cinco Ranch dropped to 110. Homes for sale and Cinco Ranch 40. Where's homes for sale Katy? Did that drop off on here? It probably did. I have to go look for it. Okay, Cinco Ranch Golf. Here's a good example. Cinco Ranch Golf, 1,600 searches. How many neighborhoods in the U.S. do you think there's Cinco Ranch? There's probably quite a few.
A lot.
You know, and there's 1,600 searches. Cinco Ranch Golf is not specific enough to narrow down the search. So that's why you always want to use the city name when you're looking up your neighborhoods, because then you're being very specific in regards to those search phrases. And it helps, it makes it easy getting ranked in the search engines with those phrases because you're being geographically specific. So again, AdWords, it's free to sign up, and you're going to be using the Google Keyword Planner. It is no longer called the Keyword Tool.
So Tim, do you suggest that we buy AdWords?
No.
Okay.
No, do not waste your money on pay-per-click right now.
And why?
It can get very expensive,
Okay.
fast.
And not much return for it?
Not much return at all. Because what you have to understand is that you're paying for the clicks, not for the leads. And you could spend $150 to $200 and people are just visiting your website and leaving. And that's on the cheap side. I was working with somebody else, and they're wanting to do pay-per-click. And I'm like, okay, how much are you wanting to spend? He goes, well, let's put $300 in there and just see how long we can make that last. 2 weeks. So if you're not careful, you can spend a lot of money in pay-per-click and nothing. You know, so pay-per-click works for other people. I just haven't seen the success yet with people that I've been around. So I wouldn't do pay-per-click. I wouldn't spend money on it. So the AdWords tool, it's free. I would highly recommend that you sign up for it. Use the keyword tool to make sure that the neighborhoods that you're going to target, there are search results returning for those neighborhoods. If they're not and it's showing 0 or the little hyphens inside there, set that neighborhood to the side and start working on other neighborhoods.
Now, what number are you looking at? You said a minute ago.
I'm looking at the average searches.
Of the average searches, right?
Mhm.
So you have 40, 480. What's a good number that's one you look for?
To me,
Yeah.
around 100 or more.
Okay. And if you get one in the thousands, you think there might be multiple websites that are.
It makes it a little more competitive because if there's that many searches being run, then there's that many more websites providing data. So you might have to have more content and on the page versus 200 or 300 words. You might have to have 500 or 600 words. Yes.
Would you want to put a search in there for Memorial Parkway just in case? I mean, if you get one search, a couple searches throughout the year, they'll find your site, correct?
No, what I'm saying is that starting out, I'm not going to waste time on something that's not returning search results.
Okay.
It doesn't mean I won't do it in the future.
Okay.
But the goal is to create your website to where it's generating traffic to you from the search engines. And you want to build websites or web pages that's generating traffic, not on something that's not generating. You can do it later, but starting out, you don't want to waste time doing it. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example here. Firethorn, Katy, Texas. Average monthly searches, 70. Was it Fire? Oh, no. Hold on. AdWords, sorry. I think it's Katy, Texas. Okay. There's no searches for Falcon Rock, Katy, Texas. I can't remember if it's Katy, Texas or Katy. I've been playing with this so much. And by the way, F. Miller, that's a Remax agent. He's using the websites here. And I think I was on the 3rd page. I might have moved. Oh, there it is. Sorry. So Falcon Rock, Katy, Texas. Even though there's no searches done, I'm still ranked in the search engines in position 11 on that web page. Okay. So just because there's searches not being done doesn't mean the page won't get ranked. You can still get ranked, but you're not going to draw a lot of traffic from it because of that. Okay. Yes, sir.
Are you limiting your web pages to Katy just because you are in Katy and you extend to Richmond? Or if you know that there's a specific subdivision in the Richmond area that you know you possibly will have some.
Okay. To give you an example, on my personal website, I'm primarily focusing on the neighborhoods, the high schools, and the junior highs in the Katy area for right now. Once those pages are complete, then I'm going to move to Sugar Land, Richmond, Rosenberg, Tomball, Waller, and start focusing on each one of those cities one at a time. But for me, I'm starting out in Katy. That's where my focus is. I want to get Katy done first, and then I'm going to focus on the outlying areas. But you can jump from city to city. It doesn't matter. You can select a neighborhood in Clear Lake if you wanted to and be in Katy, and still build the pages. Okay, so you're limited to time, and that's pretty much it. If you've got the time, you can do whatever you want.
How many pages are we interested in?
The max that you can put inside the site builder is around 1,300.
1,300?
Yes. And I say max, but it doesn't mean the max. It just means that when you get into your site builder, it starts running really slow around 1,300 pages.
What's the agent average of pages?
The average agent pages,
Or like, how many neighborhoods is each agent average, or is it just random?
there's about 4,600 agents in Remax of Texas. Out of 4,600, I'm estimating about 25% are actually using the website. Out of that 25%, there's probably 10% actually creating web pages. Yep. So you figure out of 1,200 agents, 25% of that, 300 to 400. So that are actively adding web pages and stuff.
Then why do you hear so many people say the web pages don't generate much traffic? They're not using them.
They don't. So let's get started inside this because I want to make sure we get through this stuff. Log into LeadStreet, go to Site Builder. And go ahead and turn your book over to page 3 or the first page inside your book as well. So we're under Site Builder, Site Content. Under the site content, this is actually where you add all these different web pages for your website. Also under the site content, it has the menu bar. And I've been trying to get these guys to change this for the longest. When you see the words top navigation button, it actually means the menu bar. And I'm going to show you how that relates. Okay. So number 5, top navigation button, properties. If you look on your menu bar, you have properties. If you look further down under the content, you have top navigation button, services. And then on the menu bar, you have services. And then you have community, profile, and so on. There's 4 fields under site content that you can add pages to. properties, services, community, and profile. Those are the only 4 fields that you can add pages to and increase the number of pages under that drop down. You can add a link to the menu bar, but you cannot add additional drop downs outside of those 4 fields right now. The defaults are properties, services, community, and profile. And under the content pages, it shows top navigation button, properties, and you'll see that little square box where it has navigation title, links, settings, show, hide, and content type. Now, under properties, just so I want to make sure everybody understands how this works right here. The navigation title, that is the title that is displayed on the drop down if it is set to show. If it is set to show, it will display on the drop down. If it is set to hide, it removes it from that drop down. If you have it set to hide, the only way you can get to that page is by if you have the URL. All it does is it hides it from the drop down, but it doesn't remove it from your website. If you have the URL to that web page, you can still access that web page.
I understand that, just describe what you would use that for, like you want to copy and paste the URL to someone for only them to see that page, or what would you find?
Sure, let's say you're working with a client and you're creating a web page specifically for that client. So you can have a listing presentation, PowerPoint presentations, all kinds of stuff on this web page, and you can personalize it with their name and everything on top of it. And at the bottom, you can have a saved search, all the listings of the neighborhood that they're interested in. And you send them that link, but you have it hidden. So nobody else can get to it unless they have that link. And they get that link, they click on it, then they see that's personalized to them, and they can go to it as often as they want. This is just one way to throw it out there. Okay, now the way that the order is set on these drop-down menus is based on the number to the left of the navigation titles. The number starts with 0 to 254. So you can use 0 through 254. You can use individual numbers, or you can use the same numbers. If you use the same number, instead of sorting numerical, then it will sort alphabetical. A good example, you assign the numbers as you create these web pages. So a good example is under community, I'm going to move mine over here. Under community, all these pages have the same sort number. And in doing so, everything in the drop-down sorts alphabetical. Now, the reason that I recommend that when you start creating web pages, you want to group them together, is because people are trained to read alphabetically. And it makes it easier for them to find things on the drop-down menu. So let's say we're creating these SEO search pages. You can use a sort value of 75. Golf courses, use a sort value of 80. So every golf course you create a web page for, you use a sort value of 80, so that way it sorts them alphabetical. Do schools, 85. You see what I'm talking about? So by using numbers,
Put a number on it, that's all the same for that search.
for,
Different categories you can have a
right,
number.
so if you're going to do neighborhoods, there'd be one number. School districts would be another number. High schools would be a different number. Junior highs, elementaries, waterfront properties, zip codes. I mean, there's so many different search variations that you can create, and there's other web pages that you can create as well, but you want to use numbers to group and manage the web pages together, because if you don't, I promise you, it will get confusing, and it will make it very hard to find pages.
I understand the number deal, but you're saying groups as well. You're saying to create the group, you're just using the same number for that group?
Correct.
Okay.
So like under community, all these search pages, like the page we're going to create here in a minute, that page that's live has a sort value of 75.
Right, and then it goes alphabetically.
Right, and then it sorts alphabetical.
Okay.
125 is golf courses. Okay. Don't ask me why I'm choosing 75. You have between 0 and 254. Pick a number.
Right.
Okay.
So you can technically have 254 listings. Your first group would be whatever number you assign for neighborhoods. Your second, so if you just scroll down past neighborhoods, and go back to your,
Up or down?
on your, no, like on your actual website you're just on, if you went, you drop down, yeah, so under community you have all those, if I keep scrolling, will you get to golf courses eventually? Or how do you,
You know what? I don't know if I have golf courses on here.
oh, okay, sorry.
Oh yeah, dude. They're over here on the end.
Oh, that's what I was saying, how is it gonna look on that?
Yeah. It's going to sort based upon the numbers. So if you're grouping them, it's going to go the lowest number to the highest number and sort that way. But if you use the same number, then it sorts the pages alphabetically. Then after that, it still sorts based on
I
number.
just wondered if you had to scroll down that thing to see them, but I see it pops to the side, but it depends how many actual pages is great.
So regardless, the system's gonna chronologically do them and then default to alphabet, right?
Yeah, when we add it, we're going to add a web page, and I'm going to show you exactly what it does. Here's my satxhomes.com out of San Antonio. And he's not changing the sort order. He's leaving everything with the sort value of 99, which gets really confusing because it's not grouping everything together. And these are his web pages that he's created. Now, here's the thing. These web pages, do you think he's creating these for somebody to go here, click on the drop down, scroll through and look at a page? He's creating them for the search engines. And when somebody clicks on that link, where is it taking them? It's taking them to that page within his website. So all of these web pages that he's creating is for the search engines, not for consumers. Still writing it as if somebody's going to read it, but it's all for the search engines. Yes, ma'am.
No,
Oh,
I didn't mind that.
okay. And so, but he's been working on his website for over a year. So he's been working on it for quite a while. So the biggest thing is figuring out what number you're going to use, how you're going to organize it. Put everything down on a piece of paper. Don't do it inside your head, because if you go inside here and you're thinking one thing and you start putting stuff together, you're going to go back and change it. Good example. I've been teaching this class for 4 years. I started working on my website 2 weeks ago, and I'm going back and I'm changing my sort numbers that I'm using of all the pages that I've created. Because the way that I put them in there, I want to group them differently. So now I'm going back and changing it because I didn't sit down and actually think how I wanted the pages set before. If I'd have done that, I wouldn't go back and have to change it again. Okay, so the navigation title is what's going to be displayed on the drop-down menu. The number to the left is going to be the order that is displayed on that drop-down. The link settings we're going to talk about in a few minutes. Show means that it's going to display on the drop-down menu and the public can access it. Hide, it's removed from the drop-down menu and you have to have the exact URL to get to that link. The content types. When you see edit page, you have complete access to that web page. You can add images, videos, JavaScript, all kinds of stuff to the web page itself. SEO communities, we'll talk about that later. Presets, self-explanatory. They're preset, you can't do anything about them. You can either show or hide. Module settings and templates. Module settings and templates are a pre-built page, but you can modify some of the content on there. You just can't modify how it's laid out or how it looks on the page itself. SEO search pages, that's exactly what we're going to be going through right now. So because we're going to be talking about neighborhood pages, scroll down to top navigation button, community, number 15. So under number 15, top navigation button, community. By default, you have 3 pages inside there.
I'm seeing an abbreviated list. I don't have a number 15.
Because you haven't
Okay.
done anything yet.
No, everybody should have a number 15 top navigation button community. You got to scroll down. And it's going to have 2 pages inside there by default. One of them is going to be Remax of Texas Charities, and the other one is a page builder 13. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay.
So open page builder, is that what
Nope. Now, underneath community, over on your bottom right-hand side of that little gray window, there's 3 links. One is add link, add page, and add form. Did I get that in the right order?
No.
Or is it add form, add page? Okay, I got those mixed up. All right, add forms I'll talk about later on in class. Add link, same thing. What I want you to do is click on add page inside that community window on the bottom right side of that. Now, just like we created a web page this morning, we're going to do the same thing. When you click on add page, you're going to type in your neighborhood's name. So somebody give me a neighborhood. How you spell it?
Longwood.
And where is that at? Okay. So in my case, because I'm in Katy, and chances are, if somebody hits the website, they're not going to know Longwood is in Cypress. So in the page title, I'm going to put in Longwood, Cypress. At the end of that, I'm putting in text. Now you can put in text, you can put in SEO, you can put in whatever you want inside there, but you need to put an identifier to let you know that you're creating this web page for an SEO search. Because if you don't, later on you're going to forget and you're going to think that that page is a standalone page by itself. Now in my demo account, I'm using text. In my Remax account, I'm using SEO at the end, just so I know it's linked to an SEO search page. After you type that in, click on Add Page. After you add the page, you're going to close that window. And you want to make sure that you make this a habit of closing the window. Do not edit the content. So you're going to add the page. And when that page comes back up, you're going to close the window. Now when you close the window, you're going to notice that your page kind of refreshes pretty quickly. If it doesn't, then you shouldn't be on Windows 8. I'm kidding.
Say it refreshes, you mean what we just created should show up?
Okay, now when you created that web page, you're going to scroll back down. After you click close that window, you're going to scroll down to community. So number 15, top navigation button, community. The page that you just created should be in there with a sort value of 99. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, if it's a no, then something happened. Or you added it under a different one, or it didn't add it. Okay, scroll up a little bit. No, go back to site content. Okay, scroll down. There it is. It just had to refresh. So which one did you just create?
Both of them.
Okay.
Let's just, but because you added Katy, right? So I added Tomball.
Yeah, well, Willow Creek. You got Willow Creek Farms. You have Willow Creek, and you have other ones in. Yeah, and the thing is that Willow Creek could be in a different city, and so by putting Tomball on there, but you also want to make sure that you put an identifier, like text or SEO or something at the end of that.
Okay, so I can change it now.
Yes.
So I just put SEO.
Yep.
So this is really for my eyes only. This is not for the company.
Yes. Yeah, the navigation title on the page that we're creating for the neighborhood is only for you to see. The public is not going to see that title.
I have a random question. On mine, I put in museum district. Should I put Houston behind it? I don't know how many towns we have in museum district.
How many towns around Houston? None.
But on
Okay, where are you at in Houston?
Where I'm at, Museum District Montrose.
So you are downtown. Okay. If I'm in Katy and somebody says the Museum District, I know they're referring to downtown. All right. If somebody is relocating to here and they're looking for Museum District, okay, typically they're going to think that it's going to be downtown Houston because your major metroplex cities have museum districts. Katy does not have a museum district unless you want to count the little red caboose they have downtown. Okay, so I think it's okay. However, it's too broad of a term that you're looking for right now.
So I should put Houston.
Houston, no. We're getting geographically specific. Geographically specific is a neighborhood or a specific location.
Not the whole district.
Yeah, museum district covers multiple museums and everything else. Okay? Because if somebody says museum district, yes. All right? You don't want to use city names because the city names covers what? The neighborhoods.
That's what I was wondering.
All right? So when you add a web page, always remember it's going to place it in with a sort value of 99. The reason I have you close that page is so you get in the habit of going back in and changing that sort value. To change the sort value, click on Edit under the link setting column. When you click on Edit on the link setting columns, the window that opens up, there's two things you always want to change on this under the link settings. Show title. Always uncheck show title. If you don't uncheck show title, what will happen then is whatever you have in this navigational title, it will post it on the page when it's viewed. And in my case, I don't want Longwood Cypress